Hi everyone. So today I have this big box to share with you from VianneyCreates that they brought to HSN for the October 7th craft day. It is their mega complete stamping kit with an auto ship. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, in a second. So this thing is just jam packed. So let's check it out. And I'm sorry about my vantage angle. That's just what my camera's doing right now. I do need to get a new camera. But VianneyCreates did send this item free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and the links I'll have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. Again, currently with HSN and YouTube, it might be embedded in the video here. Definitely down in the description box, listed across the very top of the description box, you'll find those links. I can see a sham in here already. So, like I said, this is an auto ship program if you want, right? You can always just pick this guy up, no commitment. I always recommend you pick up the auto ship because it could be that, you miss out, but on top of that, you can always skip and then cancel at any time. So like, as soon as you sign up, when you purchase the kit, you go into your auto ship manager there on HSN and it'll show you all the different auto ships you have, and it'll have listed, the different ones that are coming up. I believe this one has 5 or 6 auto ships associated with it, I think. And you can look ahead and say, okay, skip that one. Okay, I'm going to keep that one, skip this one, and I want to keep the last 3 or whatever. And if it's in time, the other one's slated to come out and you decide you change your mind, you can unskip it. If you cancel, it's canceled and then that's it. But you can always mess with that, in a timely manner, right? Of course. So something to think about, I always like to get the auto ships. So let's check this out. Mega Stamp Kit. Okay, so I do know in this initial kit, you're going to have some tools that you're not going to get in the auto ships. Auto ships are going to be more like stamps, more markers, some things like that, more inks, right? But this first one, and more card bases, all that. This first one's going to have your waterproof ink pad colors in black, gray, tan, and brown. So we'll look at that. Dual tip markers. These are water-based markers in all these rainbow colors. 24 A2 folded cards. A ton of stamps. And some of the stamps do have things like this where you kind of pair them up or maybe layers or whatever it might be. So you have these cute little, just like outlines of something that might say handmade with love or happiness is handmade, and then you have icons that go in there. So when you pair all those things together, you have something cute like this, right? This one's kind of similar, but in the square kind of shape. You have like a label kind of look. You have all these just stamps, you have an alphabet or a couple different ones. Looks like different sizing on those with the fonts and everything. And then all kinds of just hi, hello, get well soon, cheers, yay, a little gift just for you. Remember, hello friend, always together. Things like that. They're showing you can match up those guys with like some of these words, right? Thanks friend, I'm grateful. You have all these icons. Beautiful, more florals down here, very VianneyCreates looking, sending hugs. Of course, it looks like this is the frame, and then you're going to pair it up with some of these other stamps. Oh, look at this little jar. That is so cute. And again, the other auto ships will be seasonal, so there's going to be different things. The pickle, that is so funny. And oh my gosh, that is adorable. Little honeycomb, depends on what you want to put in there, right? So you have olives and jam and cute stuff like that with the labels, all the little icons. You have your layers, again, we talked about earlier. Beautiful florals, again, these layers, and it's showing you here how you would layer them up. I love the look of this leaf. Oh, okay. On this back side, we have more Christmassy type things, so your sentiments. The cute icons. I love that. It looks like a little stamp. It's kind of like distressed. Merry Christmas, the little reindeer. So some of these are in color. Some, maybe it's just stamped. This guy. And more sentiments. Love the nutcracker there. We have Merry Everything. Wishing you the sweetest holiday season. The beautiful poinsettia. All these icons. Sorry, I'll get a little bit closer. Leaves. So that is what the instruction sheet is showing. So we have a chamois. These are great. They're amazing. I always keep them in a little tub, like a little Ziploc tub or whatever the brand is. I don't even know anymore. But anyway, so just to keep it moist, right? So you either keep it in a Ziploc bag or some kind of tub because you always want to keep them wet. They have dried out and I reconstitute them with water and it's fine. But it's better if they stay wet like this because what happens too is sometimes they'll stick to like one side of it will stick to the other and then it tears away. It'll still work, it just doesn't look very pretty. So always want to keep it moist. And you can see this one is already, it's arrives that way. It looks there's a little moisture in there. I don't know if you can see that. So you definitely want to have that and keep it wet to use. Let's say we have our card bases. Like I said, 24 of them. I will give you an idea of how thick they are, because I do get that question and then I forget, and then people ask and I'm like, oh no, I forgot to show you. So hold on, let me grab a card base. Was that one? Wow. Okay, so they have to be like 350 GSM, thicker than 110 in my opinion. This one's a little bent. I'll fix that there. But yeah, nice and thick. Let's open this guy up. A lot of boxes here. Uh-oh. It's very snug. I can't get my finger in there. There we go. Oh, okay, these are the inks. Oh. So you have your ink pad, very typical kind of ink pad look to them. And let me open this guy up. I'll open them up in just a moment so we can try them all out. But, you know, I do like to include like brown and these other colors, because a lot of times if you want to color these in and make it look like a watercolor look, if you use these guys, even though it says waterproof, what I'm trying to say is that it looks really light, right? Like with the brown. This one says black, this one says black, but this is not black. Actually, they all say black, but I know it's not. Sorry, I don't know what's up with that, but see, they all say black. This is like a light brown. That one's more that chestnut color. You saw that it said which colors came in here. What I was trying to say is if you use this lighter brown and then go and do your watercoloring or your markering, it looks more like it was just hand done. I don't know how to explain that. Like not from a stamp. Let's see here. Oh, a stamp cleaner. So you have this nice bottle of stamp cleaner. It does say refill, so you can place that or just use it. I don't believe it comes with something to pour this into, but you can just put that on a wipe and wipe, you know, paper towel, whatever it is, and just wipe off your stamps. But that's really nice. 100 milliliters of that. If you want to put it in a little spray bottle, you can definitely do that. Okay, I open those guys. The stamping tool. Okay, guys, so check this out. So we love our precision presses. I know a lot of times people say, oh, you know, I just go for it a lot of time when I stamp things, but you definitely can benefit from a precision press type thing. So we have this guy, and you have your base, you have the little pegs. It has this with the little spring action, of course, so you can squeeze it, right, when you put your stamp on there. And the area for this, it says 4 inches, but I mean, you can get a stamp all the way up to here, so just a little over 4 inches in the one direction, and I assume like 3 inches in the other direction. Let me grab this, only because the measurement's a little different there. I'm buttoning that right up. Yeah, exactly 3 inches to the very edge of this. Okay, to give you an idea. Very cute. And then we have our markers, or dual tip markers. Actually, you could probably keep your sham in this bag if you want afterwards, because it's just like a Ziploc on the top there, and it doesn't look like it has any holes, so that would be good. And so we have these guys, and let me grab a piece of cardstock. I'm going to put some of these things to the side. I'll be right back. Okay, so I just wanted to grab a piece of paper so you can see. We have all these colors, rainbow colors, pinks and red. Well, let you see that there. Black, you have your basic colors, blues, light blue, red, green, yellow, orange. All of those pretty colors. And you have a brush side. It's nice. It has more of a firm feel. It's not like a water brush. It's a little firmer than that. And then you have your fine side here that of course you can write with, color in smaller pieces, whatever you want to do with that. And so I'm just gonna try out a couple colors for you. Of course I'm going for the pinks and the reds. Okay, that one, get it going a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit dry, but then I got it going. And let's check out this one. Oh yeah, I love that brush side. It's so nice. And then if you want to write with it or whatever, that's a very soft pink, so the fine line. There it is. Okay, so something like that. Beautiful colors. And then we saw this guy. I will show you the stamps in just a moment. So we have a case, little storage pouch. I love these guys. These flew out whenever they had them available just to buy these guys. They're great. So really cute. This one does not have a handle. It's just the pouch there, zipper pouch. And then it comes with the plastic pockets also with your labels. I believe there are 6 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 6 of them. So you can put away your stamps. So again, this is a mega kit, this first iteration here. And let me grab like a piece of cardstock to go behind me so you can see them really well. Okay, so we went through, you know, the examples there or the inspo. So let's check these guys out. So there they are. Again, I'll give you some measurements. I'm not going to measure every single one, but just so you have an idea of the sizing of these guys. So this one's almost 2.5 inches. Look how cute that little guy is. A little cardinal there. You know, big sentiments. Like this one's just over 3.5 inches. We have that beautiful ornament, and that is, you know, 3 3/4 of an inch. Some other icons. Holly Jolly, really big on that one there. Look at that guy. Again, you know, I'm looking at the inspo sheets and I'm like, oh, this little bit, they're not little. They're a good size. So a lot of them are focal points on their own. That one's 3 inches. This one's just over 3.5. Love that sprig, really pretty. That's the poinsettia that has the layering with it. So these guys. And then your font here, the first one, the larger one, is about a 1-inch stamp. You have your punctuation and all that kind of good stuff there also. And then this one with the ho ho ho, joy, Noel. I love the look of those. That's very cute with the plaid and like dots and other cute things. Again, some layering flowers. Those are very pretty. I love the coloring on the sheets too, to give you that inspo just to start off with. Look how big that bright, jolly and joyful. So I know we saw these earlier, but hope your holidays are. And then you mix and match with the different words. The cute little jar that is super adorable. Again, the pickle there and all these cute things. Labels and all that you can mix and match. Icons and just extras and backgrounds and stuff like that. Thanks a million. Many thanks. Thank you. Words can't express my gratitude. Friends who craft together, laugh together. You have some washi. You have the little diamond press marquee there. You are so amazing. And then all those bits that have to do with all that. Banners. Have a lovely day. I love that today it looks like it's typed. Very diamond press looking flowers and the butterfly and all that. Thank you. Warm hugs and cocoa mugs. That's adorable. Look at this little guy. Holiday cheer. You have your second alphabet font here. Alphabet font. I was gonna say it's probably 1/2 inch, and yeah, it's 1/2 inch on that one. I love that little look of like painted, and then you can put like maybe the person's monogram or like a letter or whatever it is you want to do with those. You know, different words on here. Very cute. Handmade with love, made by hand, from the heart. Happiness is handmade, made for you by happiness, or sorry, handmade happiness. Again, all those things we saw initially when I opened up the paperwork there. The paperwork. Your special day, hello, joy, flowers for you, yay, a little gift just for you. I mean, all those kinds of sentiments. And just a couple more. We have that big label, or yeah, if you want to call it a label. It's over 3.5 inches on that one. Beautiful spray here. Again, the typed words, sending hugs, all these cute garlands. And then, oh, this is the rest of our alphabet, so I'll probably pop that over there. I thought it was all in there because I saw the punctuation. I didn't realize there was no X, Y, and Z, and then numbers also. Okay, so I think that's everything. Let me do something real quick. Maybe this guy. I want to stamp the ink colors for you guys. So let me open up the inks and we'll see what we have, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I am going to open the chamois real quick because I want to show you. Again, I had said you can put this on a paper towel. Obviously, you have the chamois. You can put it on here too. You can put it in a spray bottle, spritz it, That's what you want to do. So let me just open this up since we're going to be stamping a few different things. Now with water-based stamps or inks, I usually just rinse them off or wipe them off. But this is says waterproof non-smudge ink, right? So I'll just put a little bit on here. Like the smallest amount. That's going to be fine. That means it's more of a pigment or something else base. It's not just water, so it's nice to use a cleaner to get that off in between colors. So let's start with this guy. This looks like a gray or a silver pigment, but let's see. Okay. That's really nice. You have your basic colors, and look at that. Okay, and I'm just going for it. Again, these are acrylic stamps. I didn't do anything special. I'm gonna wipe that down. And this next one is what looks like our brown. I love having different colors of brown because just depending on, you know, what you're stamping background, sometimes you want like a cocoa brown, sometimes you want like a more burlappy or lighter color. Again. And let's go into this one. And you see I'm just going for it, but of course you can use that stamp press to make sure you're stamping it real nice. There we go. Nice and juicy ink pads. Let me see. Oh, and they do stack. So I was trying to see for you guys. It takes the lid with it, but there you go. They do stack. Obviously, I'll take that down here. And then this guy. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Okay, so this one's tan, and this one's what they're calling brown, I believe, since they're both brown, but in my opinion, this is tan, brown, and then gray and black. Juicy and beautiful. I love having these two browns, I'm telling you. It just sometimes, some projects you're like, oh, I like this. I used to really like a color called cocoa, and then sometimes I want to use like a lighter brown, you know. Anyway. Okay, so let me think about what I want to do. We're going to try some things out, do some, you know, coloring and all that good stuff, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I chose a few stamp sets that will probably work with, and for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just stamp the back of this card base. I know our kit comes with a card, but I want to make like a fall kind of card, so I'm using a craft card base, so that is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then let's do our little, you know, handmade by kind of stuff here. I'm going to use the brown colors. I'm going to use both of them. Like I said, I want this a little bit fall, and you can definitely use your stamp positioner if you need. I'm just going to go for it as one does. So I'm going to use this guy, and I'll go with the darker brown first. And I'm just eyeballing this, so I'll pop that right there. And since I'm not using a stamp positioner, I'm going to make sure that it's really touching all areas. Looks really nice. There's already still a little something on here, so I mean I can just wipe that off. And let's go with handmade with love. Oh, the little button is so cute. Let me use the lighter colors for this. Actually, I think I was going to go light, dark, light, but oh well. So I went with the medium color here. Yeah, in my mind, I have a lot of ideas because I was like, oh, should I use this? Should I do that? Okay, maybe I use the markers. Okay, maybe I use, you know, and I totally forgot what I was going to do here. I was going to go light, circle, dark lettering, and then light again, but that's all right. Okay, it still stands out. It's because of the craft card. I was like, what if that brown doesn't show up as much? And then just a cute little something. Let's do a flower because in my mind I was going to do some flowers, but in like very fall colors. So back to the darker brown. And just a little something right here. Again, I'm letting that soak in. And again, I get this question quite often. What did you do to prep your stamps? You saw what I did. I just took it off, inked it up, and used it. I don't know. And I think that question comes from sometimes people use acrylic stamps that are not very good. And so they just repel or they don't stamp well or whatever the issue might be. But I've not had those issues with my die and press stamps, but I will say if you do have those issues, you can take like a buffer, like something like this, and just go over the surface. Let's say you're going to stamp with one of these guys and it's not working. Just lightly go over the surface of it to kind of etch it a little bit, and that way the ink will stick better. You can, there's lots of different tricks. So whenever I don't mention one, people are like, oh, you can do this. Yes, leave comments please to help each other out. You can stamp with stays on ink first, and it just stays on because that's what it does to the plastic. And so that when you stamp later, it's just holding on, you know. It helps the ink stick to that surface that now has the stays on it. Lots of different things. So I have this piece of cardstock, and what I was going to do is kind of stamp off the edges and just have fun with it, so we'll see. And then I'm going to grab these guys. I don't know if those are the only sprays I want to use, actually. Let me check. Sorry, I should have done this before. Yeah, because, oh, here we go. I skipped over them because it was like the poinsettia, but I do like the look of these guys. And, you know, you can use these on their own. You can use these together. Maybe we do something a little fun. Okay, so I do want some leaves, and I want some flowers and things here and there. I'm just going to go for it. So again, I'm just going to use my stamp because I want this to be a little artsy. I'll be right back. Okay, I just want to check something. So, I'm going to use the lighter brown. You can definitely ink this up. We can spray it with water. That always looks really cool because it just gives kind of like a watercolor effect. You can second generation stamp, means that you're stamping it, but then also using it again. So see how dark it is here where the ink is all there, but when it's not, it's just that much lighter. And it looks cool. I'm just going to try to do something like this all around, and then I'll do the same thing with my flowers, but for right now I'm just trying to design a little something. I didn't think about that. So coming in from this side, I suppose we can just do the same thing. There we go. And you see, I'm not afraid, and I'm just going for it, and I'm not thinking much about, you know, the actual positioning. This is such a thick, that's why, duh, hello. In my mind, I was like, wow, this is really pigmented. It's because it's not just a water-based ink. The reason I know that is because if it's waterproof, that means it's not water-based, because if you go in there with your markers or other things, it would definitely start smearing. So that's why you want waterproof inks, especially if you're going to color them in. Okay, so I'm going to put that one to the side. I guess I can put it back on the carrier. Then I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to use the darker brown. And again, I'm not really paying attention to that it has to be perfect, okay? So again, but if you want to, use your stamp positioner. In fact, I'm going to make it so it's not perfect, so I'm just, well, I'm trying to, and it looks like I got it spot on anyway. Okay, it's a little bit off. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be a little bit off. But I was like, oh no, it looks like I'm doing this perfectly. Okay, let's just have it a little bit off again. So I'll go around the whole thing. Love it, love it. And you know, you can turn your paper. I was turning the stamp or whatever earlier, but you can definitely get your paper going. Hopefully my nails don't get in the ink. I love this design. That is so cool. Because even the design itself has like little dashes and dots, and like it's not perfect. So that really works out with what I was envisioning here. Okay. So it's, again, just imperfect. Let me clean up a little bit. I'm going to clean up the ink that got on here before it gets somewhere I don't want. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm trying to see which flower I want to use, because I want it to be enough flower that you're going to see the detail. Because if it was just like this part of it, it's not going to be very fun, is it? So I think this one will work. And then I'm going to go with a lighter orange, and then go in with a deeper orange. And if there's enough space to actually do the very centers, I'll do that too. So that's how this one looks. So, let's go with this tangerine color. And now these are just inks from my stash. You can use the markers as inks also. You can just, you know, paint it on here. I'm going to kind of turn this here and there. I see there's a piece of glitter that's going to be the bane of my existence here. I got a little piece of glitter somehow, or something there. Let me take that off. Okay, and I'm going to twist and turn this, which is probably a little more challenging because I'm gonna have to find what I was doing whenever I come to do this later. That looks so pretty. What? It looks just really cool already. Okay, and then maybe a little bit more of this one. I don't know. Oopsie. Touching this thing, but stuff got in the way. Nice. Okay, so I'll clean this off again and just wiping it off. When I'm done, give this a wash, a rinse, squeeze all out, the excess water, squeeze it all out, and then just keep using it. Okay, so we have that guy. And then we have this piece. Now, I always recommend whenever you're using a acrylic block or an acrylic block, pay attention to the size of it, because it's easier if you have something smaller like this. You just have more control. Now, let me see. Like I said, I don't know if this has a specific way. That looks like it's too much in there. Maybe it's this one. Okay, so again, I can just leave it so it's kind of fun. But see how deep this one goes in right here? That's what I was looking at as far as this, and that's where that fits. Okay, so let's go with a darker orange. And again, I can be kind of playful with it. It's nothing perfect, but I am looking at that area. Just pop that on there, okay? And then I'll keep going around like that. That deep area is over here this time, so I'm going to turn it this way, kind of catch that. Yeah, there you go. And it's over here this time, so I'm going to pop that on there. And this one, it's actually here. For whatever reason, I kept clocking that one piece, so that's good. Okay, so I will just kind of pop that in there. And look at that. That is very pretty. These colors, oh my gosh. Love it. Okay, let me clean up a little bit, and then we're going to do our sentiment down the center here somewhere. Oh my goodness, you guys. I was ready to clean up, and I told you I'd be right back, but hello. We can do the one more stamp in the very center, which is this guy. And I have really tiny blocks, and I could definitely use that here, but I'll just keep using this one. Sorry, I was putting these away, and I thought, oh, wait, hold on. And apparently this guy can just go wherever. So this is what I was saying, that we can definitely bring in our markers. You can use markers as stamps, you know. I do have this brown. Obviously, we have brown over here. Let me see if it's going to be brown enough to show up. It might. Okay, so you can just take your marker. I wouldn't just go like this, because it's going to go everywhere. Just kind of sideways. Give it a little something. And right before you use this, because this is a water-based marker and obviously it's acrylic stamp, just make sure, you know, everything's really marked up, and you can go into it and just give it a little stamp. And it gave me a little bit of a center. Okay? Again, I know this color's kind of light. And just a little something. Go. Okay. Yeah. Just give me a little something. And we'll do it here. Sorry, guys. I was packing it up, and I was like, oh no. And I'm just putting it wherever. I'm not really paying attention to anything. I don't think it really matters for this guy. Oh, this one's barely going to show anything, anything at all, so I'll just try to get there. Just a little extra. Okay, now I'll clean up. Okay, guys, so we have our beautiful card background. This is lovely. And then I was thinking, you know, you can use it this way, right? It can be landscape, it can be portrait mode, whatever it is. I feel like I stamped it this way, did I? I don't know. Whenever I stamp something a certain way, I always feel like that's how I have to use it, even though I could turn it this way. That'd be fine. But I just can't do it. In my mind, I'm like, no, it was like this, and that's how I'm going to do it. You know, we have all these different things. I said I was going to do one of these sentiments here, so just kind of dishing things. I mean, many thanks fits in there real nice. It is a nice big area. I think I'll do this. I'm beyond grateful. Just debating if I should stamp it in black or that dark brown. Also, just to see if it'll fit on here. So with this guy, what you're going to do is butt it up completely against the pegs. And that way, you know, that's exactly where it is, even if it shifts on you. But if you wanted to, and I probably will, put a little tape here. Just like the oldest tape. Look at this tape. You know, I reuse and reuse and reuse until it's not reusable anymore. And I'm just eyeballing this at this point, which is what I normally do. But let's say like there. That look good? And then we can bring this guy over. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just, let's say I'm going to push down. I want to make sure that it's going to be touching a surface. I think it will. Yeah, it's like right at the edge. And that was pretty straight because I can see on this grid that that's pretty straight. So I'm happy with that. And let's go with the darkest brown, I guess. Just because black at this point would be so jarring, I think. I love this brown. It's so pretty. It has like a reddish tone to it. You can kind of see it. It matches my nails, doesn't it? That's unexpected. All right. Yeah, it has like a purpley burgundy. Those are different things, but that's what I'm getting from it. Yeah, and I don't think I need to stamp it again, so that worked out real well, but I did want to make sure it was nice and straight and all that. So just using the stamp positioner on that one. Oh, you know what? I don't think I mentioned this cardstock. I have it cut down to 3 1/8 by 5 3/8 because that's the kind of measurement I like. But of course, you can do whatever you like. And one last little wipey wipe, and this can just go and get rinsed off. And again, squeeze out all the excess water and put it back in the packaging there. All right, so I'm just going to glue that down, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, we have our gorgeous card here. Love it. Love the way everything came out on this one. Again, I went fall related with this guy, even though, you know, I used the Christmas, you know, greenery, and then this one looks more springy and however it is. So the auto ships for this, again, will come with obviously more stamps. The packaging for it, right, the envelopes, the plastic envelopes, it'll have markers. It has more inks. Want to say it might have some more of this, but I don't remember. Sorry guys, on that one I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, whenever Diamond Press puts out things like this, they'll do an email blast, and if you don't have those emails coming in, what you want to do is go to mydiamondpress.com and sign up for their newsletter, right? So it's just, you know, pop it in your email there and they'll send you the email blast, so you always have those images of what's coming up with the auto ships all at once whenever they announce what they're putting out, and you'll have those pictures. And then when they do their demos on HSN, they'll also show them there. But really, really cool. So thanks for watching, guys. I will have images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now. Oh, as I'm cleaning up, I mean, there's just so much in this kit I forgot to mention, and you go ahead and put everything away, you know, in your pouch here. And I just think it's a really fun idea of always getting these fresh inks and markers and everything, you know, quarterly or whatever it might be. All right, guys. Bye now.